Well, hello. I want to thank everyone for actually joining us on the Downing Cut, subscribing, leaving comments, a thumbs up. It really means a lot to me. And just for those who don't know who I am, my name is S. Joe Downing. I've been an actor for 20 years, and I decided to create the Downing Cut as a way to expand our community and to really highlight individuals within the acting community and really have them tell their story, how they became filmmakers. And so, in this episode here is just kind of a special thing. I wanted to share with you all my very first film that I made, and it was during the pandemic. My wife directed. 11-year-old girl wrote the script, and we decided, hey, why not? Let's give it a try. And unlike other little short snippets, which you'll probably see those pop up eventually on this channel, I would use my cell phone and try to do skits and try to make trailers and add music and just practicing, trying to figure it out. And I think as an actor, we're always have our imagination going, and typically what happens is we start waiting for someone else to reach out to us and say, hey, we want to use you, or we want to cast you, or we want you to audition. And 20 years, I mean, that's a long time to kind of go, okay, maybe I should start trying to figure out how do I make my own content. So I think the part that is really important for me is for anyone who is thinking about getting into the industry or coming into acting or directing or filmmaking or producing, I'm trying to basically gather as much content for everyone from different perspectives. And I'm happy to say that at this point in time, we have hit, I think, 11 interviews that are going to be, there's 2 that I'm going to publish this Sunday, but 11 interviews total on the channel. And I've been, now, behind the scenes, I've been interviewing left and right, like 4 to 5 days a week. A new person that comes on, either an actor, an artist, producer, director, or writer. And I think it's just great to actually hear what their story is. But the main point I'm trying to make is soak in the information. There is no right or wrong way. There is no one path. Everyone has a different journey. And part of this channel, I also want to share my journey. And I think we're going to eventually, I'll have my wife interview me, and we'll go through a list of questions, and so you can understand where I came from and the kind of the struggles. I mean, it is a struggle. There's some ins and outs and things that you go through. But I want to show you the very first film, which was recent. So remember, I've been acting 20 years, and then it was right around 2022, 2021, I think around the pandemic time, we decided, hey, let's make a film. It's a short. It's like 10-minute short to see where it goes. And it was the very first film it was the first thing that we sunk our teeth into really understanding what a short film is, how do you submit it to Film Freeway and get to the festival circuit, can we win awards? And I was imposter syndrome. I didn't think that it would go that far, and it did garnish a number of awards, which really surprised me. I mean, it was so bad that my wife was like, let's do a premiere for the cast, which, we have kids. They're all kids in there. And there was no dialogue in the film. Again, it was written by an 11-year-old who just kind of wrote out the scenes. And not having dialogue actually made the shooting a little bit faster because the kids didn't have to memorize any lines. We just had to do a lot of blocking. The second part was I didn't think that, when you look at your peers and you look at what they make and you're like, I'm not up there. I'm not good enough. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we've learned over and over and over that it doesn't matter. I mean, as you see on the interviews on this channel, some of the first interviews are horrible. I had a blue screen. I wanted to put my logo up. I didn't know what to do. And now you're seeing this background. And it's kind of like, well, and it's just whatever works. So all of this to say is I want to hear from you, the audience. If you're part of our community, if you want to become part of the community, if you're watching this from another country, another state, somewhere outside of the Pacific Northwest, give me a shout. if you are an actor and you want to get interviewed, you want to be on a podcast, give me a shout. Let's do it. This is open to everyone. It's not just segregated to the Pacific Northwest. The only reason why a lot of the people that I'm interviewing in the Pacific Northwest is because that's where I am and trying to tap into the network. But I want to reach out to a broader audience. I want to gain perspective from everyone across the world, and I think it'll be helpful. And the other thing I've been telling the people who I interview, our guests, is that we always have projects to promote. We always have something going on. We have a new film, a new short, a new script. And so after you do your initial interview, come on the channel and let's do a 30-minute segment and let's just promote what you have. Let's talk about what you have. And we can have, I think on the app, we can have up to like 5-6 people that we can do a virtual podcast, and I'll prepare the questions and we'll go from there. And just to highlight your work. I think it's important to really see each other's work, the things that we're working on, the creativity, and just to understand that we are a community and we're here to kind of lift each other up. It's not a competition. And I know I think that conversation came up when I was talking to Aaron Carlson. It's like, well, why do we feel like it's a competition? I don't know. Maybe it's the Oscars. Maybe it's the A-listers. Maybe it's the chatter that we always hear from the echelons. But the thing about us is we are here because we're passionate about it. And, in order to kind of continue to grow, the only way we can grow is with each other as a community. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of our community. And if you know another actor, another filmmaker, send them my way. I'd love to interview them. If you yourself is a filmmaker in some way, shape, or form, I'd love to interview you. I know there's a few that I've been trying to reach out. Some work in the gaming industry, voiceover work. Some are just producers. Some are assistant directors. And so I just want to bring everyone together and just highlight everybody and make a channel that is for all of us creatives who are trying to make a difference and continue to grow and sharpen our saw. So without further ado, I'm going to play the trailer for Pyrocene, and then I'll play the movie and tell me what you think. This was the very first film, and the funny thing is once I edited it, so my wife directed, and it was a group of kids from 11 all the way down to like 3 years old. And the premise of it is a forest fire takes out a bunch of kids. Sad story. So it was, an environmental message. And in the process of editing it, I realized that there really was no drive. There was no story that really stuck into it. So I made the cliche of it's a dream sequence. And so that's what I ended up doing. The learning curve for me was there is a forest fire, and I did that in After Effects, and I found a tutorial online and just followed the instructions, and then started just doing my own thing after that. I really love music. I love how it encapsulates emotions and kind of helps the audience go into the realm where you want them to, and so that is part of the whole thing because there is no dialogue. And on top of that, we submitted it to festivals, and I think we got a few selections. We got, I can't remember exactly. I have to look it up on the website. If you look at thedowningduo.com, you can actually look up my wife and I, our production company, and Pyrocene, which is the first film that we did, and all the awards we won. I'm happy to say, though, that the lead actress, 11 years old, never acted before, won the Best Child Actor award, and I think that was pretty special. So that gave us enough motivation, and it was also a test. It was a test to say, can we do this? Can we make our own movie? Can we actually go into this realm? And fast forward 2023, we actually made Cousin, Cozen. I say cousin, other people say cousin. I don't know, whatever. Maybe it's my Asian accent. Cousin. Anyways, we made that. I think you guys all saw the trailer. It's on the channel. It's not released publicly yet. It's actually still in festivals, and so we're still doing that run. But eventually, what I'll do is release a couple versions of that on the channel. I have our lead actor. I'm gonna have we have a commentary that I'm actually gonna have him redo because of the software that we had. The audio wasn't that great, but yeah. So again, thank you. We've made it to number 11. 11 interviews on this channel. Right now we have 90 subscribers, so we're just pushing forward. Let's keep on doing it. Let's try to grow this channel as fast as we can and get as many interviews as we can. Behind the scenes, I think I have interviewed, let's just say that I haven't been keeping up to date with the actual numbers. I have around a little over 55 of people that I've scheduled interview, and out of those 55, 11 are on the channel, 2 of which of those 11 are going to be published this weekend, so stay tuned for that. But if you're watching this in the past or in the future, then this is the past. Doesn't apply. But you still watch Pyrocene, so enjoy. Oh, and before I hang up, I want to ask the audience, if you have comments, you have questions, if you find the interviews you want to know something that I'm not asking, feel free, leave a comment, give me some information, because I'm just kind of shooting in the breeze and seeing what sticks. I think there's, a lot of the main questions I've been asking are, where they started, which I think is really important to really know where someone has started. And then how they feel about AI. But if you have another idea that I should be asking, let me know. Leave it in the comments. Much appreciated. you.